Welcome back, officers of the Republic. It is your Coruscant Underworld Police Chief of the 69th Precinct, baby. I bet you thought I was gone. I bet you thought I couldn't do it. I bet you thought I would never make my triumphant return. Well, the king has returned. And what does the king return to do? What the king does best. Reviewing subscriber rosters. Subscriber roster review, episode 3047. We are back. Finally, we got KB from Clan of the Raging Mudhorn, and we are going to break down this roster like only the Coruscant Underworld Police Chief of the 69th Precinct can do. So let's hop in. Boom. Right off the bat, we notice one. I pointed at the screen. I haven't done a roster review in so long. I'm afraid you guys can't see me. My face cam is terrible. I'm not going to use it. 1.283063 GP, that's 1,283,063 galactic power total. Right off the bat, what are we going to notice? Something that we like a lot. Triple Zeta, Darth Vader. I don't know why I took a pause there. I just had like a brain aneurysm. We have a lot of new subscribers, so if I haven't explained why Darth Vader should always be your most powerful character, well, the real reason is because he's great solo potential, does high damage, triple Zeta, he can solo Geos, it gives you those banners, very versatile in a Sith team and a solo, you can do lots of stuff with him. That's the real reason. But the reason everyone knows is because as a small child, I played Star Wars Monopoly. It was the only Monopoly that I've ever known. I didn't know that there was real Monopoly in the world till I was like, I don't know, 8, 10, 12. I had only ever played Star Wars Monopoly. And I was easily frightened as a small child. What is it, the land of the that old cartoon dinosaur show. Lots of you guys probably don't know it because you guys are all younger than me or much older than me, so maybe your kids watched it. The T-Rex would always scare me. But when I watched Star Wars for the first time, Darth Vader scared the heck out of me. So whenever I played Star Wars Monopoly, I always had to play as Darth Vader, because if I didn't play for the bad guys, they would kill me in my sleep. And isn't that sad? No one wants to die. So Darth Vader, being your strongest character, is definitely a plus. That triple Zeta makes it easily for him to be up there in galactic power because, it adds an extra 6,000 GP. Besides that, we have a Relic 5 Jedi Anakin. This is also a fantastic relic because he does big damage under Padme. You can throw that on defense at 1.2 million GP for pretty good holds. I mean, if you throw on the back wall and you bait out some good teams, maybe with the Geos or something like that, or some sort of separatist team, you can bait out better teams at 1.2 million GP. You can get holds on the back line. Also, if you notice your opponent has a high relic, high octane defensive team that they like to use, you go through their swigo.gg. You look up their strategy a little bit, and you find out that they place lots of good stuff on defense. You can throw that on, save that Padme, Anakin, Ahsoka, General Kenobi team for offense, and get through some stronger teams. Bossk Zeta, I love this. Bossk Zeta is probably third best Zeta if you're new to the game. Just off the bat, Merciless Massacre, it's got to be the best. Then I'd probably say Jolie's Revive, then Bossk's Leadership. Probably top 3 Zetas for you newer players. Not a huge fan of this Nute Gunray or Count Dooku Zeta. Personally, if the Count Dooku Zeta you had really early on, maybe for solo viability, he gets that protection, he gets that extra damage and stuff like that on those counters. But at this point, 1.2 million GP, it's probably not the best Zeta allocation. Big fan of this Zeta as long as it's not the leadership. Okay, good. Big fan of that Zeta, helping getting that foresight around. It definitely helps with those Jedi. Obviously, the Jolee Zeta is fantastic. You should probably get Jolee up, because if you go against, you can probably go against a couple of Relic GGs at 1.2 million GP. You kind of want him to be able to withstand a couple of AoEs. Love the Ahsoka Zeta. Again, this General Grievous Zeta is maybe useful with the 3 Zetas total for stripping some banners on defense, but not necessarily the best Zeta. He's got some good stuff going on here. Love this Zeta. Hard to get him up, but 7-star Greef Karga. My boy. Love that. He has Hermit Yoda, which is fantastic. I think I remember him having Jedi. I think I remember having a level 1. Yeah. Maybe you literally just unlocked him, but the second you unlock him, he's going to 85. As much gear as you can humanly put on him. Throw some Zetas on him. His leadership with Hoda and Jolee Bindo is getting you good banners, like perfect banners against stronger teams, especially at 1.2 million GP, 1.3 million GP. That trio is getting you full banners. If you throw Bastila on with Yoda, you're getting full banners there. You can make a lot of good Jedi teams get max banners, and then say Padme for maybe a big for a big offensive push, I throw it on defense. Let me just break this down squad by squad since this is my triumphant return. Bounty Hunters, obviously we like that boss leadership. We got these guys, plus Grief at 7 stars. I really like that. And Cad, I would have liked to see Dengar just because of the recovery under the Bosk lead, but Cad's okay. I mean, if you're running it for offense, which I highly recommend it, you're probably only doing a 2 or a 3-man. Don't ever place Bounty Hunters on defense. There's so many things that counter them pretty quickly, unless you got relics and your opponent doesn't necessarily have high relics. Then it could be a viable team, but if all things are even in terms of gear, Zetas, all that stuff, you want to be saving these guys for offense. So Grief will definitely help to punch up if paired with Mando, because you can get that contract out under Bosk's leadership, especially with his mass assist, his double tap, his mass assist, his double tap potential. This is definitely a fantastic Bounty Hunter team. Do you have clones that we don't really need to talk about? Okay, good. Droids, you got some good stuff going on here. Maybe preparing with that HK. Empire, obviously you have your Vader. I like to run Palp with Thrawn at 1.2 million GP. I know your Bastila Fallen is like level 1. If you get that Bastila up to like 5 stars, level 85, gear 8, gear 9, Emperor Palpatine lead with Thrawn and Bastila Fallen is a team I highly recommend. It stuns lots of stuff, especially since we're in that 3v3 phase right now. Gets you fantastic work, puts in fantastic work, basically. Galactic Republic, we've obviously talked about. You have your level 69 cup. It's not going to be 6,969 galactic power like mine. That's a little unfortunate. But we recently got all to get that Relic 7 cup, so, you know, we're doing some good work there. You got your classic stuff going on here. Not too much to talk about. I really like that. Geonosians, I really like how you haven't invested too much in them. They don't need to be invested in that much. Yeah, if you're trying to get into a good guild and you don't have the connect from the Discord to help you get into a good guild, it can be important to get them up to gear 12, but they don't really get much better at gear 12 since they're still countered just as easily. So if you're not in a great guild and if you're having no luck whatsoever, maybe get them up so you can do that WAP mission, then people will start to have you in there. But I like the lack of resources put in here with just the Zeta to help you out. M Troopers, I don't think you got a lot going on. Yeah, nothing like that. Jedi, we've already talked about. You got good stuff here, but you got to get that that Revan up, especially since you already have Hoda. Hoda, Jolie, and Revan is going to be fantastic. They added the new Mandalorian faction, which I just want to click on because it's never been there before. Hopefully you haven't spent too much on Phoenix. Nice. Okay, this is where we get into the meat and potatoes. You got to have gear on Han Solo. He's viable even here. Same with Chewbacca. These guys are so viable even at just these lower stars. Get them the gear. If you can, get them the Zetas. Fantastically useful. You're not quite ready for CLS, mostly because, do you not have Old Ben? Oh, you do. I'm just blind. So you have everyone you need at 7 stars. Get them to level 85 if you can spare the resources. Get them up to like gear 8, gear 9. Gear 9 is probably pushing it. Gear 8 will do just fine. A couple of well-placed Omegas will be really helpful. And get that CLS thrown with Han Solo, Chewbacca. Get the Zetas on these two, not necessarily the Zetas on CLS right away. Get them all to gear 8. Get Chewbacca and Han Solo maybe up to gear 9, gear 10. You're going to be doing high banners. Also, you're going to be able to punch up, defeat stronger teams, stuff like that. And if you can get maybe like a 3-star, like C-3PO Chewie, get gear 8 on that, you can punch up even more. Just make sure your CLS is weaker than the 3PO and Chewie so that, you know, the guard doesn't get taken away, stuff like that. I think we talked about Separatists a little bit. 3 Zetas that I'm not a huge fan of, but they're not the end of the world. I just would have liked to see them in other places. Sith. Traya, obviously, Traya Zeta is fantastic, but what do we need to do? We got to have those Triumvirate, unless we have Nest, which we do not. Nest can substitute for both of the Triumvirate characters if you have that Zeta. So I know this isn't a hyperdrive bundle, so you don't start off with that 5-star Nihilist, but find some Sith to go with Traya. Start grinding out Scion a little bit just because it's an important Geo counter. I know it's kind of off of a lot of people's Rush Jedi Knight Revan, Rush Darth Revan, Rush this, Rush that. But just having those extra characters is super, super beneficial. Gives you high banners against those Geos so you can continue to win GACs, continue to have fun in the game, continue to get those Zeta mats from getting first place every single time. Definitely an investment that not a lot of people appreciate while they're farming, but definitely pays dividends after you've done it. Hopefully you have all 5 Tuskens. Only one of the 5 Tuskens. A little unfortunate. You don't have Raider, the woman, or the children. But you'll eventually unlock them with time. I think that's just about it. That's a classic roster review. Maybe it went a little long. But the king is back, baby. We're trying to get to 2,000 subscribers by the end of January. So if that's something you want to participate in, subscribe to the channel. I'm sad.